we starting in orange. Come on with the bull crap, man. Come on with the bull crap. Wi-Fi, you gonna work it out. The Wi-Fi keep going in and out, y'all. The Wi-Fi keeps going in and out. So now we orange. Why are we orange? All right. Anyway, we back here on the late night. Having problems as usual. Somebody's so scared for me to stream. I don't know what it is. So, let me start with the song here.
Bro, Derrick, the one man show. And if you didn't know, you better learn quick. Cause I'm asking a question.
Who
you with?
Who?
Where you from? What you done? What you got? Who you shot? Where's your gun?
Why you running, son?
Yeah. You feel that bass line. Yo, feel that way when coming to be slaves with yoga materialism, drugism, thugism. So wake up before I break up. Your jewelry, your oversized truck. Step to me, good luck, you're gonna need it. Like NJ, I'll make you beat it. Don't get alerts on here, so before you spit, reach into your bag for trick, and I don't mean to stray. I'm more lethal than a venereal disease. So let the hate see, speaking of absurd, I'm not a killer, I'm a thriller.
Locking your butts up like Barney Miller.
Welcome back to the area you dreamed about. Dropping knowledge and insults, what I'm about, don't like it. Well, let's exchange.
You're not cerebral enough to handle with the cells in his brain.
Yo, when it comes to physics, you got a limp.
You got a limp biscuit.
I've been around 24 years and you still say, who is this? Stop asking, stop nagging over you out there attacking. So flex and get dumped on your neck. I carry you on like a knapsack.
The pops
you smell on your back. Yo, I'm asking a question. Who you with? Where you from? What you done? What you got? Who you shot?
Where's your gun? Why you running, son?
Don't stop hating, stop bitching. I don't sound like you. So stop tripping. And I got the power to shut the fuck up and listen to something different. No one brings it like me. I'm exciting and inviting you to hear a free sample of a lyrical brother example. I'm creating, composing my other sample. Don't care, break or home and masturbate. I'm not the beautiful head of state, but I'm fuel up that with water you can't navigate. I'm the captain, keep rapping my knowledge, keep getting what's happening. I saw a right pad, got on the step it, and build my rag. If you hustle, you got to go use blue. You got to go rehab, go back where you came from.
Skid Row.
Just get off, you need more truth to be cruise feet. An ordinary citizen you can't maintain, yo.
I'm moving on your brain cells.
Man, what's so hard about living today? We learn when we lost our way. You'll grow up. At the community meeting,
You never show up unless it's on police brutality.
you don't see balls like me handcuffed on TV. Doing the reference to the community. Our black marks on your family. And I'm asking you,
Where you from?
what you got?
What you got?
Yo,
Who you shot? Who you drop? Where's your gun? Huh? Oh, why you running, son?
Yo, you know I'm talking about when telling you you walking in the other direction. I know the whole reflection of Generation X was no respectful knowledge. That if you didn't go to college and learn nothing, but I first to speak on something. If you don't swing on flash that bling bling,
Hey,
I'll
talk to
turn
me.
on scene, so stand back, I'm letting go. You know what it is, piss me off. Yo, I'm bringing it full barrel. Shooting your ass like James Quarrel. So if you're a shot caller,
Come face this bad knuckle brawler.
when I rap this full content, I'm not coming to hang. But to put you on your back, bring you a new crack. Who you with? Where you from? What you done? What you got? Who you shot? Where's your gun?
Why you running, son?
Bro, Derrick,
Low
the
one.
one man show.
All right. Welcome to the show, everybody. Let me take this banner down real quick. Oh, that wasn't it. Where is that banner at? I just made it. There we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the BD show. What's going on, Talk of the Week? You say it sounds like I'm in a concert hall. Is that good or bad? I don't know what's going on. I'm fighting to keep this Wi-Fi. This is the third day in a row. It ain't acted up on me. It's like somebody don't want me to stream. Well, we gonna stream. Doggone it. We not gonna be stopped. As a matter of fact, let me get to the first news story. I had some things I wanted us to debate. Nobody wanted to debate. But what the heck? Me and you can debate them. Now, the topic of the show is a very interesting news article that I saw. And it was something that I was wondering. We've been covering the Caravan all last week like crazy. Now all of a sudden, it ain't in the news no more. You ain't hearing about that Caravan like you was hearing before. Fox News barely even mentioned that Caravan now. It was top news to the election. So was Trump and the Republicans using the Caravan to help swing the election in their favor? The same way the Democrats tried to use Michelle Ford to keep that Supreme Court seat open till after the election so they can get somebody they wanted in there. So if it is that tit for tat? But let's get to the news story. I'll let y'all ponder on that. Uh-oh. Here come the commercial. Let me see if I can mute in time.
Military meals. They're on deployment through Thanksgiving, separated from their families. A mission costing you, the taxpayer, about $200 million.
Come on,
Donald
man.
Trump said he was deploying them to combat a caravan
What is
of
going on
immigrants
here?
marching thousands of miles away. Now, if you watch this news program, you may know over the past month, we have not led our newscasts ever with that caravan or dedicated entire segments to it because that migration march itself was not a big or unusual development.
You sound like I'm underwater.
It was, of course, seized on by Trump partisans, a kind of final political scare tactic right before the election, and that was obvious. A top Trump official even leaking to a reporter in October that, quote, doesn't matter if it's 100% accurate, this is the play. Let me repeat that quote. This is the play. So if that Trump leaker is correct, they've already admitted their boss, Donald Trump, deployed the military for a misleading political play. And on cue, Fox News gave that play huge coverage. Fox defenders might argue, well, they can cover what they want, and maybe they just care a lot about the caravan issue, regardless of the election. You could argue that, but it's not true. Because here are the facts. Since the election, caravan coverage has mostly disappeared. The same folks hyping this before the election aren't even talking about it now. Here was Trump before Election Day.
How about that caravan?
The caravans.
Caravan. Caravan. Caravan after caravan. Caravan after caravan. After caravan. More caravans. I noticed all that beautiful barbed wire going up today.
Fox News echoing that message with almost breathless self-parody.
It's not a caravan, it's an invasion.
Gang activity, gang members in those caravans.
Some allegedly carrying guns and even firebombs.
I want to know who's in that caravan. Are there pedophiles? Are there career criminals?
Could more ISIS terrorists be embedded? They're coming in with diseases such as smallpox and leprosy and TB.
We got HIV, measles, pertussis, rubella, rabies.
You can see they've got a family in a raft.
This is an act of attacking the United States sovereignty.
If any of that were true, it would be a big long-term story. But since the election, Fox News had 33 hours of segments about the caravan through Election Day, and since the election, you see it right there. Nothing on Election Day. The hours of coverage melt away. And I want to be clear, the facts here are important, and they don't only indict Fox News. Let's follow them where they lead. Two of the most respected print outlets in America, the New York Times and the Washington Post, ran a whopping 84 stories on the Caravan in the single week before the election, and that fell, you see it there, to half in just the week after. Now, the drop-off shows how much this controversy was echoed by serious outlets. Now, press critics are not saying that none of those stories should have run. Some of them were just reporting news like what a president said and fact-checking those claims. But that journalistic role does not require dozens and dozens of stories timed for the election, and certainly not double the coverage before the election than after. Now, all of that's important so people don't get played. Again, we can learn together, but the joke may be on Trump, who lost the election even with that Caravan coverage, but it's also on those of us in the media. And Stephen Colbert hit the punchline about how the Caravans completely disappeared after the election.
And now, it's gone. I mean, how's that possible? Who got rid of the Caravan? Could it be the Caravan?
Who this geek? That was funny, Tyrone.
This is real life. This is not a drill tonight. The U.S. soldiers are still down there long after Trump and Fox News have moved on and covered this stunt far less. And as you see on the screen, you are also paying for it. I'm joined now by Congressman
$200 million.
Brown, a Democrat from Maryland and an Iraq War veteran. Thank you for joining me to dig in to what matters in this story, sir.
All right, great to be on with you.
What do you think of the substance, as a legislator and a veteran, that these soldiers are still down there, even though Trump seems to have completely moved on, that this was an election stunt?
You know, look, as a soldier who deployed to Iraq for a year, I spent Thanksgiving, Christmas, a number of other important family events deployed and away from my family. I'm very disappointed that the president used our military as a plaything, quite frankly. Men and women who raise their right hand to join the armed forces, they know they're going to be deployed. They're going to be deployed at times when they'd rather be home. But they're willing to do it when the mission is real, when they're doing what they're trained to do and what they're asked to do in defense of their country. But to send thousands of soldiers to the southwest border when there's no threat, the mission is dubious at best. It's demoralizing, and I think it has a real impact, negative impact on the military's readiness.
Secretary Mattis gave away part of the game, and obviously he's got to follow lawful orders. But he directly said they're not going to be stopping any invasion. They're not even going to be making direct contact. Take a look.
At the present, I do not anticipate military personnel coming into direct contact with migrants. The military police will provide force protection for those service members who are supporting Customs and Border Police and putting in the obstacles.
Given all that and what we've learned, I guess I want to take part of our setup to this conversation and put it to you. How do we do a better job distinguishing between these stunts and covering what are actual national security or migration issues?
Well, first of all, let me say I'm very disappointed with Secretary Mattis, who otherwise I have considerably high regard for. Earlier this year, when the National Guard was being deployed to the southwest border, I introduced an amendment to the Defense Authorization Act. It wouldn't have prevented these deployments because if they're necessary, then we ought to do them. But it said, hey, if we're going to deploy men and women to the southwest border, we need to have a strategy. You need to be able to lay out to the American people, to Congress, what's the cost, what's the benefit, what's the impact on readiness, and what is the long-term play? What is the long-term strategy? This afternoon, Secretary Mattis could answer in the short term, you're going to lay the concertina wire, but the long term, he couldn't articulate to soldiers, which is very disappointing, why they're there and what they'll be doing. That's not how you operate a military, and I know that Secretary Mattis knows a lot better than that.
I'm almost out of time, but you mentioned the Authorization Act. Are there other things that your party can do now that you're coming into the majority to constrain this type of potential abuse of the military in the new Congress?
Absolutely. We're going to have oversight authority. We will be bringing the civilian and military personnel into Congress with some probing questions. We also have the power of the purse, and we're going to put restrictions on these needless deployment of active duty soldiers so that we can ensure that our military is ready to face real threats that we face in many other areas around the globe.
Right, and the money matters. I mean, all spending bills originate in the House. You're about to have a lot more party on your side of the aisle, and that $200 million was spent on this. It's always a question in democracy, in addition to the soldiers' time, effort, and risk, whether this was the right spend. Congressman Brown, thank you so much.
Thank you, Ari. Thank you for having me.
Man, that was a long interview.
Another thing we thought might happen very quickly.
Oh.
Right.
Come on. I don't get flagged now. That was long. Right, Dawn, that was long. I didn't know that was that long. I'm sorry, y'all. Alrighty. Let's get to it. Let me pop this chat out. I thought it was popped out already. Why it's not popped out? Put on live. Pop it out. You say I sound like I'm in a concert hall? You know what? I didn't check my settings for the microphone. Let me I told you I got 2 outputs going in. I'm supposed to have 1, but you know me. Let me go in here. No, it's right. It kept the defaults. It's right. Let me go into the filter. You got the noise suppression on? Do I still sound like I'm in a concert hall? Talk of the week. While we wait for him to respond, he said, "You sound like you're talking underwater now." That wouldn't surprise me about Trump. He lied about building the wall, laugh out loud. They all promise sweet things knowing full well they have no intention to deliver them. Well, I don't know about the wall, but he putting up a wall of barbed wire. Does that count? He putting up a wall of barbed wire. Ain't nobody getting through that. All you gotta do is touch that barbed wire, and that's it. As soon as you try and put your, unless you got a pole and you're gonna vault over the wire, if you even touch that wire, you trapped. That barbed wire ain't no joke. I'm dead serious. That barbed wire is no joke. Anybody that want to play with that barbed wire, go ahead. Soon as 2 of them pieces get in you, that's it. You ain't gonna never get untangled. It's literally, you're gonna have to cut it. And might have to cut it out of you. That barbed wire ain't no joke. That's one of the crudest things man ever invented with that barbed wire. I think I'd rather deal with electrified fence than barbed wire. We said, listen to the scare tactics. Everything they tried to scare you with already happens in the United States, so why should it scare anyone now? It looks like, you say I'm echoing? Wait a minute, let me make sure that the webcam ain't on. Oh, the webcam is, see that? By me having to reinstall, the webcam is on. Told you, no matter what, it's always something. All right, how I sound now, talk of the week? How do I sound now? Talk of the week, how do I sound now? The webcam was on. I sound the same? You said I sound the same? The settings should have stayed the same. But hold on, let me go back into the audio. 48 megahertz channel, audio device, blue snowball. Everything looks good. I don't know why I'm echoing. I wish I could hear it. I don't know why there's an echo. We doing the same thing that we've been doing. Let me make sure there ain't nothing else on. No, that was the only thing, and we turned it off. All right, let me turn off one of the microphones. One of the ports. All right, how I sound now? Am I still echoing? How do I sound now, Talk of the Week? How I sound now, buddy? I'm trying to figure out why I'm echoing. Hello, how I sound now, buddy? You sorted it now, so that means I sound all right now? So you saying it sounds pretty good now? Everything sounds okay now. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, and that is it. All right. I turned it back on just to be sure. So how I sound now? So as usual, one of my schemes, one of my little tricky tricks I came up with, come back to bite me in the butt. Yeah, that's better now. That's what it is. I told you I had two inputs for the even though it's the same microphone, I was using, if you go into the settings, you got a desktop audio and then your media source audio, and then you got mic aux 1, mic aux 2. Well, I picked Blue Snowball under both of them, and I renamed them. One's Brother Derrick and one Brother Derrick Show. Brother Derrick Gaming, one is Brother Derrick Show. So right now, and I got them both at the same level, and we wasn't having no conflict before. So we gonna rock on with the one microphone, because I might just get rid of this. I'm gonna hide it. No, don't hide that one. Wait a minute, I'm messing up here. Hold on a sec. Let me turn that one off, since that says gaming. Let me hide it. All right, and let me hide the webcam. All right, so we only got one. So now I just switched over. So did you hear echo while I was switching over? So now we on the one channel. Trying to be slick and using two. We only need one. But I'm trying, me. I got to go far and beyond. But all right, let's get to the next video. The Republicans are something, ain't they? Democrats ain't much better. All right, this is in the description. I got to hear this. I didn't listen to it. I want to hear it with y'all. Black college student has police called on her by professor, prompting an investigation. Black Texas college student has police called on her by professor, prompting an investigation. Now, did one of these ratchets forget where they was? And they called the police because you can't beat a woman up. If you was a boy, or we get you behind the shed, we gonna have to call the police on her. Let's find out. White lecturer calls police on black student for putting her feet up. What? Okay, here we go. Oh, no.
Your screen doesn't need repairing, but your weekend is...
Full screen. Where the fighting at? Where the hollering and screaming at? Huh? What? That's the good old boy network. That's all that was. That was boring. If I'd have known that, it wouldn't have made my list. I don't play no boring stuff. But since we did, let's talk about it, buddy. Hold on a second. There was no information. Where was the hollering? Where was the fighting? Where was the screaming? You ain't gonna touch me. You ain't gonna touch me. Why I gotta leave? Why I gotta leave? Where you put your hands on me? There was none of that. That was whack. So the girl had her feet on the back of the chair. The lecturer saw it and didn't like it and called the police. Now, I try to be fair, and I'm going to hold and reserve my comments until we get more information. There's no information there. All that showed was the police coming, and the girl nicely walked out. No arguing, no touching, no anything. Now, this is Texas, and y'all know the good old boys down there in Texas. I tell you to do something, you gonna do it. You ain't gonna do it, huh? I'm gonna call the law on you then. You can deal with them. That was a waste of the police time. I was expecting to hear cursing and arguing, and that was just whack. Talking to Wee says, why call the police? Just because she has her feet up, what a waste of time, laugh out loud. Talking to Wee said, you're just petty. He continued, that was not police work. That was a daggone shame. They ought to be ashamed of themselves. I mean, seriously. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Whoever the lecturer is, you don't own the school. Now, it might be disrespectful for her to have her feet up, but the lecturer does not own the school. It was somebody giving a lecture. Literally called the police. All right, I hope this news article better. Trying to get rid of these before the morning comes. Parkland shooting suspect Nicholas Cruz. Y'all remember him? He's charged with attacking a jail guard. So the man killed all them people, and now he in there beating up the jail guards. Are you serious? Said immediately happened Tuesday night when a sergeant asked him to stop dragging his sandals as he walked, according to a Broward County Sheriff Department. Broward County in Florida, right? So at least it ain't Texas. Why they got them kids walking like that? Somebody gonna shoot them because they arm in the arm, the bullets ain't gonna hit them? I never understood that. You should be telling them to run. Get out of here as fast as you can. What the heck are you sitting there walking all slow for? So the man have a nice, easy target. Nicholas Cruz, the man accused of killing more than a dozen of his former classmates at a Florida high school, is facing new charges for attacking a jail guard, authorities said Wednesday. Cruz, 20, has been charged with 2 counts of aggravated assault on an officer and 1 count of use of an electrical or chemical weapon against a law enforcement officer. So he not only attacked him, he had a weapon. The fight happened Tuesday night at the jail in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, when a sergeant asked him to stop dragging his sandals as he walked, according to a Broward County Sheriff report. Cruz gave him the middle finger before the accused killer rushed him and attacked him in the face, according to the report. Cruz got on top of the sergeant and punched him several times, the report said. The 5'7", 120-pound Cruz then grabbed the guard's conductive electronic weapon during the fight, which lasted about 90 seconds, and it went off during the struggle. The taser, it was a stun gun, not that taser. The stun gun did not injure either Cruz or the deputy, according to Broward County Sheriff Sergeant Anthony Marciano, a union rep for the jail guards. The sergeant guarding Cruz got the weapon back, but the fight continued, according to the report. Cruz hit the sergeant several more times before the guard punched him back. Cruz is facing 17 murder charges for the mass shooting at Majority Stone Douglas High School in Parkland on February the 14th. Cruz was separated from the rest of the jail population, but is allowed several hours outside the cell in a common area by himself. But after this incident, Cruz will be locked in his cell for 23 hours a day, Sergeant Marciano said. Let's watch the video. Is there a commercial? Yep.
I don't want it to end.
Commercial.
Douglas High School shooter Nicholas Cruz back in court today after a stunning turn of events, allegedly attacking a guard in jail. According to an affidavit, Wednesday afternoon, a deputy guarding Cruz told him not to drag his sandals on the ground while walking. Instead, Cruz responded by displaying his middle finger, rushed the deputy, and struck him in the face and hit him repeatedly. Investigators say it was all recorded on a closed-circuit camera at the Broward County Jail, including Cruz grabbing the deputy's taser-like device.
Oh, he did have a taser.
Before the deputy got it back. Andrew Pollock's daughter, Meadow, was among the 17 killed in the high school shooting. Today, reacting to word deputies eventually got the upper hand on Cruz.
The officers should have finished what he started. That's what they should have done. And they had their opportunity last night.
Tonight, Nicholas Cruz still in jail in solitary confinement. Kerry Sanders, NBC News, Fort Lauderdale.
That man said what he said, and I can't say I don't agree with him. What about you, Talk of the Week? I can't say I disagree with him. And I'm gonna say something to the people in Florida. You should not have a jail officer should not have a real taser on him. Now the good news is, if he doesn't have any backup cartridges on him, it can only be used once. But it can be used to seriously injure one person before the SWAT team get there. I say it again, it could be seriously used to injure someone before the SWAT team can get there. I think this man wanted them to kill him. He know he's 20 years old. He's 20 years old. He killed 17 people. Y'all know he going to death row. You know it. I think he wanted to get killed. I think he really wanted them to kill him. What do you think, Talk of the Week? I really believe that they wanted, he's trying to get killed. This ain't going to be the last time we hear about this. You said it's a safety thing, 23 hours, and it's, oh, it does suck. Let me tell you. To be in a cell 23, you only get 1 hour to come out. And now you only remember we were watching the video yesterday when they said the guy was locked down 23 hours a day and you get 2 showers a week. You get to shower 2 times a week. Now, you know, you have a, you got your bathroom and they got a little sink over it. You know, you can wash up. But, you might wash your underarms and between your legs. You know, but you're really not going to scrub. Are you going to wash your feet? I was asking. I know jail must smell like feet and butt. I'm just being honest with you. Jail must smell like feet and butt. Can you imagine if somebody in the kitchen cafeteria, one of the guards, wanted to play a trick or wanted to get some revenge on a certain cell block, and they put laxatives in their food? Can you imagine everybody taking a dump at the same time? You imagine 500 prisoners taking a dump at the same time? Woo! Can you imagine what that daggone bad that prison smell like? Can you imagine that? Is there enough ventilation in the world? Well, I'm sorry. If somebody tell me they enjoy going to prison, I don't know what to say to them. I don't know. But it could be your upbringing though. Because I can tell you, until I go on Amazon and eBay, or until I walk into a fancy store, I forget how broke I am. Black people have the ability to forget how broke they are. We so used to not having nothing that we had to see somebody that got something and go, damn. I had typed in people who scream in 2K, over there in the other sector, the big sector. And it's a couple of people that are trying to do 4K. And it keeps failing. And they got Intel i9s. They got like 20-something gigs of RAM, 3 terabyte of hard drive space, and I'm sitting there like, whoa. We sitting here with 8 gigabyte of RAM on an i5. They doing i9s. Oh, Jesus. So, they haven't been able to successfully do 4K streaming yet. But with all that power, they doing what I'm doing. If they can't do the 4K with all that power, then they doing what we doing. I say it again. With those big, powerful, expensive computers, they doing what we doing. So, I don't have the money, but I got something. I'm doing the same thing they doing. I realized something else too. This S5 only works when it's plugged in. This Avatar has a 720 screen on it. The S5, as long as it's plugged in, it'll work. As soon as you unplug it, it starts boot looping. But the S5, it's a 1080 phone. I was looking at our show in the settings on the 720 phone. YouTube only allow it to go to 720, and I looked on this phone. It's a 1080 phone. It only allows you to go to 1080. So let me make sure our settings didn't get messed up. I know it didn't because if If one say 1080, it's 1080 phone, and the other one only go up to 720. That's the limits of the phone. But let me go here. Let me make sure. No, we hit 1440 HD. That's us. Now I'll click it. And you see, there wasn't no spinning. It didn't change anything. Ain't nothing moved. So we are at 1440. So, but that was something. You said you lost all your channel graphics? How you do that? How you lose all your channel graphics? Well, whatever you do, do not try that 3D thing. Because there were no instructions in there. And it took me a while to find a download. And I downloaded it. And I took those plugins. And I put them in the OBS plugins folder on the C drive. You got to go in the C drive, programs, OBS. And then you go into the plugins folder. I downloaded those plugins and I put them in the folder. And it shut down. The OBS was not open. It shut it down. Made it a daggone, made it a imaginary paperweight. So I had to go ahead and, I tried to just reinstall it. That didn't work. I had to literally take it off. Now, luckily, I was able to keep my settings. That's why I was able to come back so quick. But I'm going to leave it alone. We streaming in 2K. Leave it alone. Stop trying to make it fix. Stop trying to make it fix. See, you said it was your own fault. You changed computers and couldn't transfer anything over. I don't try to transfer it over. I just start from scratch. It's stuff. That laptop under the bed somewhere. It got information on there. I've never tried to get it off. This is an all-in-one, but we on the computer that we bought. But the all-in-one is still right here. Right here behind the monitor attached. It's information on there. But rather than try and get it off there, I just say, I'll find it again. And that's why it didn't take me that long to put the information back on after it went blank. Because I had done it with we came from the laptop to come to this computer. Now we went to that computer, then we went to this computer, then we went to that computer, then we came back to the computer. So I've kind of gotten to the rhythm. You know what I mean? It's like we gotta sit here and download it all over again. I still gotta, I don't know what I'm gonna do about the games. I got the, I don't like the Sega CD graphics. I like my Streets of Rage though. I might keep the Sega one. The Sega CD I ain't too hot on, but it used the same emulator. But the PlayStation 1, the graphics is trash. And the Dreamcast and the Dreamcast and the Sega Saturn are a damn headache. I mean, it's just a headache. So I might just stick with the three. The Sega. I might use the PlayStation ones. Some of them racing games are okay. But when you streaming in 2K, you don't want no cheesy graphics. I'm sorry. I'm streaming in 2K. I want the best. You know what I'm saying? Talker the Week said it was his own fault. He changed computers and couldn't transfer anything over. And to be honest with you, I could push. I really don't push everything like I could. Like, it's settings. I take it easy on the OBS. You know what? I'm a risk taker. I've been taking it easy. Let me see something here. We're going into the settings. They let me change them. I'm going to see if I can boost some of this up. I can't do it. I left it out. I can't do it. That's my fault too. They always start you out with simple. You know, they start you out with simple. when you go to output, they put you on simple, but you go down, but you hit it and you go down to advanced. When you get into advanced, you got your stream, you got your record, you got your audio, and then buffer replay or something. I don't fool with that. But your stream is what you streaming at. Your recording is what you're recording with. Now, we don't record. Now, some people do record, and that's probably why they can't stream high. Some people do record, and I don't know why you're recording, because I don't know why you're recording. You streaming. And people should be watching you stream. And if YouTube mess up the recording, then that's on the follower. That's not on the host. You should be watching. I'm not going to load my computer up. I do shows every day. How I look trying to save every show? Why would you want to save every show? I record daily. Somebody say, oh, I missed it. It's not on YouTube. Well, you should have been there. That's like saying, I'm supposed to go to church. I expect somebody not to sit in my spot. And I expect somebody to record the service for me in case I don't feel like going. If you don't go, then you didn't care to watch it. Whatever else you was doing was more important. Well, why should somebody save something for you? It's YouTube's job to record it, not mine. It's YouTube's job to record it. They do all that whining. We want this, we want that. I give them what they want. It should be on the line for you to see. Y'all know that we do. We show a lot of videos. Some of them could be copyrighted. Some of them could get the video taken. If you notice, then you should be here to watch it. If other people only use 1 or 2 videos or don't use videos at all, if they come on and somebody on that might get flagged, then you should watch the one that might get flagged. You can always watch the other one. It ain't going nowhere, right? That's how I look at it. Let's get to the next story here. Oops, wrong button. You the only one. We got 5 people here. You the only one type in the chat. Let me say something. Oops. I do not like lowercase. When I'm on the PC, I want to be in full mode. Let's get to the next video. All right, y'all. I thought we were the superpower. Well, listen to this story, y'all. I ain't listened to it neither, but the title caught my attention. U.S. military in crisis. Could lose a they're gonna flash. Could lose a war to Russia and China, report warns. The U.S. could suffer unacceptably high casualties and loss of major capital assets in its next conflict, the National Defense Strategy Commission says. If that's true, why would you advertise it? So our enemies know to get ready. That sounds stupid. Is that video? Is that video? Where's the video? There's a video? Where the video at, man? Aw, man. All right, here we go. I got to read it. The United States faces a crisis of national security because its historic military supremacy has eroded drastically, leaving it likely unable to fight more than a single war at a time, according to congressionally chartered report released Wednesday. U.S. military superiority is no longer assured, and the implications of American interests and American security are severe, said the report, which was issued by the National Defense Strategy Commission, an independent agency whose board is appointed by the House and Senate Armed Service Committee. The report concludes that the Defense Department isn't financially or strategically set up to wage two wars at once and could even lose a war against China or Russia individually. The U.S. military could suffer unacceptably high casualties and loss of major capital assets in its next conflict, it said. The Commission's co-chairman, Eric Edelman, who was Undersecretary of Defense during the presidency of George W. Bush, and retired Admiral Gary Roughhead, a former chief of naval operations, bridging the Bush and Obama administrations, are scheduled to testify before both armed service committees later this month. Johnny Michael, a spokesperson for the Defense Department, said the agency welcomed the report, calling it a stark reminder of the gravity of these issues and a call to action. The department would carefully consider each one of the recommendations put forward by the Commission as part of continuing efforts to strengthen our nation's defense, and looks forward to working with the Commission. Oh, I'm going to sleep, please. Oh, Lord. China and Russia, seeking regional hegemony and global power projection, are pursuing military buildups aimed at neutralizing U.S. strengths. At the same time, the United States has significantly weakened its own defense due to political dysfunction and decisions made by both Republicans as well as Democrats, he wrote, citing defense budget cuts with pronounced detrimental effects on the size of modernization and readiness of the military. Donald Trump asked the Defense Department to cut $16 billion from its budget, which currently is at $1,716 billion, a 2.5% reduction. U.S. forces will need additional resources to train high levels of proficiency across a broader and more technology challenging range of potential missions that in recent past, particularly those missions focused on advanced military threats from China and Russia, the Commission wrote. But money isn't the only roadblock. The unclassified, wait a minute, is that a video? I didn't be all that for nothing. No, that's terrible.
Defense Secretary Jim Mattis recalibrating America's military, now focused towards China and Russia, moving away from ISIS and Al-Qaeda.
Great power competition, not terrorism, is now the primary focus of U.S. national security.
Mattis unveiling the National Defense Strategy, which will guide the Pentagon's spending priorities for the Trump administration. The Defense Secretary's goal, ensure that America maintains its warfighting advantage on any battlefield, including cyberspace.
We cannot expect success fighting tomorrow's conflicts with yesterday's weapons.
But China and Russia are also gearing up.
On cyber, on unmanned vehicles, on maritime forces, on space capability. We need to continue to fund it if we're going to stay ahead of China and Russia.
Mattis directing tough talk at any country that dares to test America's resolve, including North Korea.
If you challenge us, it will be your longest and your worst day.
Hans Nichols, NBC News, the Pentagon.
The second?
I had to read all that for nothing. I'm mad about that. I'm sorry. Uh-huh. I'm mad about that. Talk of the Week says, why are they anticipating a war between the superpowers? The three of them aren't that stupid. Sounds like media stirring up trouble for more views. I know Europe wants its own army. Y'all don't have an army? Oh, you say Europe. What part of Europe wants its own army? Every country should have an army, no matter how big or small it is. And y'all know that y'all play them video games where y'all go over in the countries and it's the two guys in that shack and they got the M16 on that side and they got the what do you call it, the thing that they got to lift up so you can drive through at the checkpoints, and it be like 3 or 4 army trucks and you got 2 guys with M16s on their back. When it's like 19 people in the convoy, and they all got M16, and they sitting there acting like, yeah, I need to see this, need to see that. Be like, man, you don't got my face. Well, we go ahead and kill both of you. But for some reason, they give respect to those 2 people and get through. But you know, in real life, if they ever want to go buck wild, they can go ahead and take them out. And whoever is waiting back at the back, they can take them out too. Just 19 of them. 19 of them could wipe out like 300 of their troops. Y'all know it. But, you know, for peace and harmony. So everybody should have their own army. If you don't have your own army, that means you protected by an army. Like Switzerland. Do Switzerland have an army? I know if somebody attacked them, everybody got to go help them because they make themselves neutral, right? So if somebody attacked them, everybody got to attack them, right? But if you do a crime in another country and you run to Switzerland, do they got to hand you over? Talking to We says they want one united European army, but y'all not united. How many countries are on the continent of Europe? And then y'all ain't called Britain no more. Y'all called the United Kingdom. So that means different parts have come together. Just like in the United States. We got 48 states. Then we got Puerto Rico. We got Hawaii. We got the U.S. Samoa. But if somebody attacked U.S. Samoa, we got to go over there and help them. Somebody attacked Puerto Rico, we got to go help them. Talker of the Week says, I see the good and bad in the United European Army. The positive is it stops another Hitler, and the bad is the internal struggle in the ranks and what the army wants to do. Well, what does the army want to do? All you got to do is go cry to the United Nations. Come cry to the U.S. What your army trying to do? If y'all start letting them terrorists in there, y'all might can do something. Y'all better learn how to put that wall up too. Say you ain't coming over here. We like Allah not welcome here. You're on the other side of that border. Don't bring that mess here. This is a sick story here, buddy. Hey, why does it keep doing that? Suspected serial killer Samuel Little may be connected to at least 90 murders. Why is he still alive? Suspected serial killer Samuel Little may be connected to at least 90 murders. Little, also known as Samuel McDowell, is currently serving 3 life sentences for strangling 3 women in the Los Angeles area between 1987 and 1989. Why is he still alive? They should go ahead and take him. They shouldn't even make an appointment. They shouldn't even say nothing. They should go ahead and execute him. They shouldn't even say nothing.
Sitting in a Texas jail, 78-year-old Samuel Little, who the DA says confessed to killing Denise Christie brothers in Odessa in 1994. But that confession may be just one of many.
He's confessed to over 90 murders in this country, and over 30 of those have been confirmed so far.
Little, also known as Samuel McDowell, is currently serving 3 life sentences for strangling 3 women in the Los Angeles area in the late 80s. But he's allegedly confessed to dozens of murders from 1970 to 2005 in at least a dozen states. Now, investigators from Texas to Indiana to Arizona who have interviewed Little are considering their own cases.
He may be a serial killer, but when you start to talk numbers that run into almost 3 digits, then I think we need a healthy dose of skepticism.
If Little is responsible for 90 murders as he claims, it would make him among the deadliest serial killers in U.S. history. Tom Costello, NBC News, Washington.
You don't know him.
Talk of the week. That's a debate that we could have. You say a united Europe will be a force. They just have to use that combined power wisely. That's why Trump doesn't want Europe to have his own army, and I don't blame him. Even he isn't that silly to ignore that possibility. Ignore what possibility? Talk of the week. Maybe we should debate about that. Explain to me how a bunch of raggedy colonists beat the greatest military of that time. Explain to me how some colonists defeated the greatest army at that time. We need to do a debate about that. You talking about them getting a unified army to do what? To get beat up. I'm being honest, buddy. You let some ragtag people who didn't even know where their next bullet was coming from. They didn't know where their next bullet. You never heard that phrase, don't shoot till you see the whites of their eyes? But they ain't even had no bullets. Explain to me. How they beat the greatest military of that time. The Civil War. The Civil War was more hotly contested than the colonist British War. Maybe me and you should have a debate about that, sir. I'm just being honest. We need to find out how a colony it wasn't a continent. You had 13 colonies. And most of them was right down the East Coast. Most of them was right down the East Coast. And you said Germany was little and they almost took Europe by themselves. I'm saying to you, you gotta think about it. You had colonists that they were Europeans. That they were Englishmen that moved over to the new land that Columbus found. And a lot of people went over as indentured servants. They were the first slaves. Then the Carolinas were getting hassled by the Spaniards. The Spaniards had Florida. And they brought the derelict, the bums, the half-deads, the criminals. They paid their way. They gave them money. Paid that. You know how much it cost to come over on the boat? They paid for them to come over. Took them right out to jails. And said, we'll give you some land down there in Georgia. Georgia ain't never had a good reputation. But Georgia was started with the gutter. The bums, the derelicts, they were all sent to Georgia for free, and they were guinea pigs. So that if the Spaniards attacked, the hope was they could hold them off so that the Minutemen could get down there before they got into the Carolinas and start tearing up the good people. That was the thought. That was the thought. You said, would you want to fight a whole continent without allies? They wasn't a continent. They were 13 states. They were 13 states, buddy. The problem was the army. Not that it wasn't powerful. I'm just saying it wasn't powerful. Meaning they had the weaponry. They had the naval ships. But what they didn't have street smarts. And I shouldn't say street smart, but I'll give you an idea. They didn't have, what's the word I'm looking for? They didn't have country smarts. Meaning, they might not have had the weaponry, but they knew how to booby trap. They learned from the Indians used to mess them up, boy. I'm telling you. Indians used to mess them up. They learned how to hide in trees, how to dig holes in the ground and spring up from behind. And by them being Europeans, they knew how to military for it. Y'all always had them bright colors on the uniform. Y'all always had the gun. And they always marched in the same format, step by step, in the same way. And they were like, we just going to booby trap them. They going to get close. And the ground going to fall off from under them. And we going to come out and we just going to start stabbing and shooting and just attacking them while they trying to get out the hole. They was able to booby trap them. Well, sorry. They didn't fight them head on. That'd have been stupid. But those soldiers were trained. They were all, and you shot one down and one right there to shoot, and it was all in a row. And I thought it was the craziest thing because if you ever watch anything on the Civil War, the early United States, they fought that way too. A little bit. Meaning the flag bearer. The flag bearer was a distraction. Your flag cannot stay on the ground. So that means your flag bearer gets shot, somebody got to drop that gun and go pick up the flag and wave it. That flag got to wave on both sides during the whole battle. When the flag ain't waving, the fight over. When there ain't nobody left to pick that flag up. Oh, you talking about now? You say a whole continent without allies. I don't know. You asked me why that caravan coming from Honduras. Why can't they unite and go beat up the government? Some thousand of them get in the caravan. How come 7,000 of them can't go march on that state house? Huh, buddy? You said a united European Air Force and Navy will warp both the old British Empire and United and Navy power combined. That's scary. Even Russia and China should be worried about the possibility. When you say United Europe, what countries are you talking about? Let's matter of fact, why talk about it? Let's go take a look. That's the beauty. Would you say a United European Air Force? That's not what they talking about. Oops. They all keep saying United States Air Forces. Let's try this. First off, I spelled it wrong. What if there was a United What if there was a United European Army? There you go. There you go. What would a unified army look like? A European army would have to deal with linguistic and cultural differences that span far and wide, but not unprecedented. India has 23 official languages. There are actually more, which is conveniently almost how many countries we have in the EU. Those languages belong to 4 separate language families, so most of them are not even closely related. To add even more confusion, there are 13 different scripts. In Europe, there's only Latin, Cyrillic, and whatever the Greeks use, and they all kind of look like each other. Point being, the Indian Army is doing just fine in spite of all of that, proving that multiculturalism and linguistic differences do not preclude the existence of a capable army. Emphasis on capable. Unlike most of our armies, India has been involved recently in wars against a matching opponent. Point being, the Indian Army, to emphasize my emphasis, I like to point out that the most elite military unit of the EU is eminently multicultural, the French Foreign Legion. Now it's been cleared up that a good army doesn't need to be monocultural or monolingual. Let's address the elephant in the room. With the UK out, there remains only one global military power in the EU. France remains the only blue water navy and the only nuclear deterrent program of the EU once the UK are gone. An EU army would logically end up relying a lot on French logistics, and because it is the only one that's already there. Arguably, this could be a blessing of sorts. The French army as it stands will only require a bit of buffering here or there and be able to serve as a EU-wide force, but of course, we can't have one country in control of the military of the Union. I think modeling the Indian Army here be a very good idea. According to this excellent core answer, the Indian Army has several monocultural regiments that are kept this way so that they can operate efficiently. I think a European army should require each member state to provide a number, depending on size, of fully formed and operational combat units, of which only the commanding officer will be required to speak English. Let's not kid ourselves. Even with French permanence in an EU army, lingua franca will still be English. Meanwhile, the rank and file should be composed of multicultural regiments will operate in a more rigid manner and have the nice side of fostering intimate relationships with the Union. An EU army set up in such a manner will see its French bias decrease after a decade or two, when officers from around Europe will have risen through the ranks and replaced the French colonels and generals that used to be the only experts available. Wait a minute. Hold on a sec. Talk of the week. Y'all don't even have a neighbor? Y'all don't have a navy? You said I'm echoing again? Oh, wait a minute. That's a chat. I'm looking at the wrong thing. I'm sorry. You trying to tell me that y'all don't even have a navy? The French is responsible for the military. Y'all better get an army. Having missiles, having power, a multitude of available men to fight, that don't replace heart. I don't believe that replaces heart. I believe will separate the United States from civilized countries is the United States would drop the civility in the heartbeat and would attack with the ferocity of a third world country army with all the technological advancements. I think that's what the difference is. I don't think the Russians can match that. I don't think they had a heart. I'm being honest. That's the one thing everybody leave out of a military fight, out of a battle, the heart. The heart of soldiers. Are you really willing to get down and dirty? Yeah. But yeah, I don't want it to happen either. You believe they believe that man killed 90 women? Well, why that man still alive? This is old news, but I want everybody to feel down they didn't win. New York winner a $343 million Powerball jackpot wants to avoid the pitfalls of instant wealth. Robert Bailey, a retired government employee, said he wants to take care of it for the next generation in his family. Hey, a black man won. Why couldn't that be me? A New York man who won the state's largest ever lotto jackpot said he wants to do the right thing and take care of it for the next generation in his family. Robert Bailey, a 67-year-old retirement government employee who lives in Manhattan, chose to take a lump sum payment of $343.8 million in winnings, which comes to more than $125.3 million at the taxes. Bailey, who won in the October 7th drawing, said at a press conference Wednesday that he has already consulted with a lawyer and financial advisor about a sudden windfall. I still want to be me. I can't let the money change me, but I want to do the right thing and take care of it for the next generation of my family. That's why I went to a lawyer and a financial advisor and sat down with them and talked business. So let's check them out.
You don't know him well enough yet. You don't know him.
The Millionaires Club. Splitting that Powerball lottery jackpot with Loren West of Iowa. They're dividing nearly $688 million. The retired government worker says he'll probably take a trip to Vegas and the Bahamas, but he's also thinking about other people.
That's good luck also to help others.
That's incredible. Today on the Ellen DeGeneres Show, West made a big announcement too, donating $500,000 to help veterans.
It's very important to me that
God
we
bless
never
you,
forget
sweetie.
the sacrifices.
Tonight, there's an even bigger winner still unknown for the $1.5 billion Mega Millions ticket sold last month in South Carolina. Check your tickets. Rahima Ellis, NBC News, New York.
All right, who we know in South Carolina?
Tonight, vehicles that were
Who we know in South Carolina that ain't been online? They might be the winner. Who we know? Louis says, don't some criminals try to get more acknowledgement by exaggerating their crimes? Yeah, that was nice of her to give $500,000. Yeah. I wish I knew what she was. I asked her. I asked her for $2,000 so we can pay the Wi-Fi bill for the next 20 months if I knew who she was. I haven't gone back to that on GoFundMe, man. I'm depressed. I already had a GoFundMe up for the Wi-Fi. Ain't nobody donate not $1 to it. We ain't had the Patreon up for 5 months. Ain't nobody donate a coin. A coin. A coin. I'm gone from streaming on a raggedy cell phone to being the only person in this sector to stream in 2K. It's sad. It's sad, talk of the week. We could be in our last days. I can't believe nobody won't put up the money to keep the show going. They'll give people cars. They're buying weed. They'll let them get on airplanes. That's damn shame. Shame. Anyway, persistence and patience. I agree. But sometimes I wonder, how did we fall so fast? You say if we do lose Wi-Fi, it won't be forever. I don't understand how we used to have 300 people watch us a day, and now it's down to under 100. But yet we still come on here with the same great show. Why did the people leave? And I never would have moved upstairs, which I'm glad I did. I never would have got the air conditioner. I never would have gotten the, I could have went back to the cell phone. We made all these changes. I can almost put anything on the screen. I can project almost anything on the screen. We always in full screen. If the person shoot the video on portrait, we can't do nothing about that. Well, I can stretch it out, but it will look pixelated. But I can stretch it out. We in 2K. Yeah, help it. But damn. Now, top of the week, you ain't been with me on this road. You remember when I thought we were doing 4K, and it turned out the I had the settings on it, but the OBS and YouTube was taking it back down to 720. I was so humiliated when I went and checked it that one day. I said, "Oh my God!" I thought we were doing them high ratios, and it was a placebo. But I didn't quit. Everybody laughed at me for not being able to figure out this OBS. Called me slow, said I was stupid, said I was retarded. I still make mistakes while streaming, but God darn it, I came a long way. We are the only people in this sector that's streaming in 2K. Streaming. You can spend, you can actually get an action camera off Amazon. I showed you for $27, $28. And you can record on that and throw it up. That's not streaming. That's not streaming. We streaming in 2K. If I want to record something and upload it, I can do that in 2K. Very few people are doing this, and we get no respect for it. We come on here every day. We bring the news. We bring the family food, World Star, prank videos, and don't get appreciated. We just don't. We don't get appreciated. But somebody can go call somebody retarded, call somebody, tell them, and everybody go running. That's sad. Well, that's the way it is. All right, we ain't done nothing on the fires. What's going on with the fires? Sierra fire erupts near Los Angeles as death toll rises in Woolsey fire. Woolsey, or they're Wolseley. The latest death brings the statewide total to 51, which is mostly attributed to the 48 who have been confirmed killed in the campfire 500 miles north in Boot County. Or is that Butt County? Is that Boot County or is that Butt County? We got a commercial here too. You gonna give us a break? Nope.
It's times like these when you...
All right.
And this is what so many people in Northern and Southern California are waking up to. Home after home, neighborhood after neighborhood, completely destroyed. But despite what you see here, firefighters say they are slowly making progress. Still this morning, tens of thousands of homes remain under threat, and the death toll is rising.
With new fires erupting in the hills outside Los Angeles, fear is spreading as quickly as the massive plumes of smoke.
Mandatory evacuations are underway.
New mandatory evacuations ordered for an entire subdivision. Only minutes to get out.
See, it's right there, so...
It's getting closer.
It's getting closer.
With fire fanned by powerful Santa Ana winds, this is how quickly it can spread. This video shot by a woman fleeing the Woolsey fire. The LA Sheriff's Department reposting it, a warning to follow evacuation orders immediately. The hills above Malibu are still burning. The blaze covering 150 square miles, bigger than the city of Denver. But crews are making progress, allowing residents in some areas to return. This is what Michelle Owings is coming home to.
It's to me like an apocalypse.
Across the state, some 9,000 structures, mostly homes, have been lost. The smoke plume from California reaching all the way across the country to New England. And near the flames, new questions are being raised about toxic smoke. The Woolsey fire burning the area by the Santa Susana Field Lab, the site of a nuclear meltdown 60 years ago. State officials say the fumes likely pose no health risk, but residents are demanding independent health and safety tests. The devastation heaviest in the mountains outside Sacramento.
Man, look at
the
that.
town of Paradise obliterated by the campfire.
Oh, Lord.
50 are dead. Many more are unaccounted for, but families still cling to hope.
I went to 11 different shelters looking for him.
Amanda Melvin's father was missing for 4 days, feared dead until now. One family's incredible reunion amid so much loss.
And I mean, Miguel, when we look at this devastation, a lot of people are wondering what sparked these fires, what caused them. Do you have any more information about that?
Well, Savannah, today, that's the question so many homeowners who have lost so much have here, but the official cause remains unknown. Still, 2 power companies, one on the northern end of the state and one here in Southern California, do say they had equipment problems during the time of the fires, but again, the official cause remains unknown.
Well, they'll be looking into that, but right now, it's the crisis at hand. Miguel, thank you.
That's daggone shame.
This is the staging area for firefighters on the front lines of that devastating campfire. There are more than 9,000 firefighters working across the state battling those wildfires, but that number does not account for the police officers and medical personnel and volunteers all working tirelessly to save lives.
This desolate view, high above Paradise, capturing the devastation left in the wake of unrelenting flames. Across California, an estimated 60 firefighters have lost their own homes, and other first responders have been impacted too.
The whole back half of my house was on fire.
California Highway Patrol Officer Joe Lynch says he jumped in when the fire started raging. Surrounded by flames, fearing death, he guided others to safety, only to later find his home in ruins.
Realize all your memories are gone. You know, you're back. Your backyard's gone. You can't play baseball with your son. You have a doll house that you made for your kids. In the back was a glorified shed. You know, it's flattened. It really hits home.
After 6 grueling days on the front lines, firefighters in Southern California are still at it, working around the clock.
All of our firefighters are taxed, but they're well trained.
They're well outfitted and they understand the mission out here. And each one of them is up for the mission.
Firefighters at both ends of the state being pushed to their limits.
Are we getting enough rest?
You right, Talk of the Week.
There's really not much time to rest.
In Paradise, it was all hands on deck to fight the flames. After an ambulance full of patients and multiple rescue teams were trapped in a cul-de-sac, Paradise Fire Chief David Hawks put them to work, protecting a home that likely saved their lives.
I told them we were going to ride the fire out here, and we need to protect this home. This is our Fort Knox, basically.
Didn't know if we were going to get out of it, but the only way to get out was to fight.
Brave men and women doing all they can to help their communities and each other.
We work together, and I would really like to see Paradise rise out of this.
And first responders tell me the mission here has not changed. Scour what's left of this community for the missing and identify the dead. Hoda.
Well, you highlighted some incredible people there, Steve. Thank you.
Your Highness.
All righty. Man, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Man. You know what? The real reason, Talk of the Week, I don't moan and groan about the Wi-Fi like I should. When I see stuff, we watch stuff like this every day. We watch stuff like this every day. Some people lost everything. It's Christmas time next month. And instead of them worrying about what they're going to get their loved ones, they got to worry about where they're going to live. If I have to go back to the cell phone, so what? But I'm going to stick to that plan. Because I'm not going to put all my eggs in this one basket. I'm not going to put all my eggs in this one basket. We definitely gonna get that new channel off the ground, and that channel ain't coming nowhere near this sector. I guarantee you. And if it get big enough, I'm gone. And just like they told Lot and his wife in the Bible, don't look back. I'm not gonna look back. I'm dead serious. I'm not going to look back. Go somewhere where I'm appreciated. All I got to do is come up with the bus fare to ride around. And I'll get a whole new wave of people to watch me. They don't just want to see people fighting stuff. Because that's all they want. That's all they want. And I just don't understand it. But when I see stuff like that, I'm like, whatever, man. I ain't gonna worry myself. So I had this set up. Let me do a disclaimer, because I'm still going to do it. Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, an allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. All right. All right. Living Life Abundantly is the publisher. Living Life Abundantly. Now, there's supposed to be some church people, so I guess they won't. I don't know. The church people sued us for the shouting video. I had to cut it out, or they were going to take the whole channel. So, don't know. So, alrighty, this is put your trust in God, not man. Let's get it. Is there a commercial? Let's see where the church streaming at. The church streaming at 1080p, y'all.
Psalm 118, verse 8. It is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in man.
Hello, everyone. My name is Joseph, and today's title is Put Your Trust in God, Not Man. Okay? And Psalms here, 118:8, it is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in man. Okay? A lot of us watch YouTube, you know, and then they say this person said this, and that person said that, and this person said this, and that person said that. And we need to put our trust in God, everybody. You know, don't put your trust in man. Don't put your trust in me. I tell you that over and over, okay? Do not put your trust in any man, because man will let you down. And, you know, I used to follow Jimmy Swaggart back in the day. And Jimmy Swaggart actually helped me. You know, he convicted me of a lot of stuff in my teenage years. And he put the fear into me. And then guess what? Jimmy Swaggart fell. You know, he taught all against sexual morality and, you know, and sexual sin. And then he fell to pornography and prostitutes and things like that. And I'm not judging him, but what I'm trying to say is I looked up to this man, and then this man let me down. You see? You can't put your trust in man, because man will let you down. You need to put your trust in God. So that's it. It's a very simple message. But, you know, don't put your faith in me or any YouTuber. Okay? I'm talking anybody. Me, any YouTuber. And we need to get in our Bibles, everybody. And I say that sincerely. And just focus on a relationship with the Lord. Love everyone. Forgive everyone. Repent from your sins. And that's it. Pretty simple message today, but put your trust in God. Don't put your trust in man. Okay? That's it. Short video. All right. I love you. In Jesus' name. Amen.
Alrighty. Alrighty. Now, I'm going to tell you something. Talk of the week. I'm going to tell you something. I came up with that. And I was thinking about how the people that said that they were going to support the platform, how they all vanished. And I was like, what does the Bible say about putting your faith in man? And I just saw what you wrote, Talk of the Week. You right. Without Nobody Cares, we would have never discovered the 2K because we would have been cut off. She's been carrying the load. She's been carrying the load for the past 4 months. Nobody else will step up. But that's the title of today's sermon. You can't put your faith in man. Let's get to let me delete that. And we'll get to the next video. I put that in the title and only these two things popped up. And so we're going to use them. So you trying to tell me on the whole YouTube that was the only man that had a video on that title? Well, it was another man. His video was an hour and something long. So only 2 people. And I felt it's something that we need to get out. If it's only 2 videos on YouTube from around the world on that topic. Scripture is clear. when it says trust God with all your heart. When you start trusting man, that leads to danger because man can't save you. Only Jesus can. When you put your trust in human, you will be let down because humans aren't perfect. Even good friends can let you down sometimes. And in the same way, we can disappoint others as well. Let's face it, we all fall short of being 100% trustworthy. It's a good thing Scripture never says to fully trust in man, or we will be in a world of trouble. The Bible says to love others as you love yourself. Put others before yourself. Serve one another, but put your full trust in God. Let me say that again. The Bible says to love others as you love yourself. Put others before yourself. Serve one another, but put your full trust in God. God never lies. He never slanders. He never makes fun of us. He understands all our pain. He promises to always be there, and faithfulness and loyalty is a part of his character. Trust is like paper. Once it's crumpled, it can't be perfect again. Be careful who you trust. The devil was once an angel. Never trust anyone completely but God. Love people, but put your full trust only in God. Lawrence Welk said that, believe it or not. What does the Bible say? Psalm 146:3. Don't put your confidence in powerful people. There is no help for you there. Do not put your confidence in powerful people. There is no help for you there. They might help you get ahead in the workplace. Might help you get ahead politically. If you just want to be in charge of the local PTA or the local lodge, powerful people can push you forward. But if you really want eternal peace and you really want to make it to the next level, you got to put all your confidence in God. You can't substitute. A man cannot substitute for Jesus and God. Psalms 118:9. It is better to take refuge in the Lord than to trust in princesses. Basically, when you think of your body, you got to remember this is a temporary vessel. You're only down here 80, 85 years. Some people are going to live to be 60. Some are going to live to be 70. Some might make it to the 80s. The majority of people are a mere vessel. 85 years to us is a lot of time. But they say 1,000 years is like a day to God. So maybe he don't see like the weight, because we imperfect. We don't like to wait for things. God is patient. But it's because a day to him is like 1,000 years. To us, 5 minutes of doing something we don't like is torture. 5 minutes. And if we start trying to find shortcuts in life and we go follow behind somebody else that we know is doing wrong and somebody that has us doing wrong, nothing good is going to come out of it. You're never going to totally be happy. Because even if you drop everything to follow behind this person that you want physically so bad, you're not going to be happy with them long term. If you chasing a career and you give up everything, sell out, even if you make it to the top of that career, you're going to wind up being alone. Will you really be happy? Something's always going to be missing. That's why you got to put Jesus and God first. And when I get angry sometimes, I forget that. And I have to catch myself. And sometimes I say, you know what? If I came out here, let me go here and get it all out and then go back and repent and let it get erased. I've said some things over the airways that I'm not proud of. But I always repented for them. I'm not going to let what the next man think be more important than what my Lord and Savior think. Isaiah 22 verse. Don't put your trust in mere humans. They are as frail as breath. What good are they? Don't put your trust in mere humans. They are as frail. They're as frail as a breath of air. What that means is God is forever. People come and go. People literally are born and die. And they pass away the same way as your breath on a cold day. You know, on a cold day when you open your mouth up and you can see your breath coming out of you. That verse is saying that people are just as common as that breath of air coming out of you. So how can you put your faith into something that's common? Is what they're saying. That's not a knockdown. It's just a straight fact. They say opinions are like butts. Everybody have one. People come into the world and leave the world. Come into the world and leave the world. Come into the world and leave the world. When you worry about what they saying about you, what they thinking about you, you're not worrying about what God thinks about you. You're not worried about what Jesus thinks about you. You worried about what this one person thinks about you. That's more important. You plan your whole life around with somebody who's no better than you. You'll put your whole life on hold because of one person. That person ain't gonna help you get to the next level. That person ain't gonna make you happy. Your insecurity is what make that person happy. What make you think you happy being around that person. I'm sorry. Anybody have any comments so far? Didn't think so. Psalms 33:16-20. No king is saved by the size of his army. No warrior escapes by his great strength. A horse is a vain hope for deliverance. Despite all its great strength, it cannot save. But the eyes of the Lord are on those who fear him, on those whose hope is in his unfailing love, to deliver them from death and to keep them alive in famine. We wait and hope for the Lord. He is our help. He is our shield. So let's break this down. No king is saved by the size of his army. So the size of your army doesn't guarantee you will win. Let's let that pass by again. No king, president, ruler is saved by the size of his army. That should make you think right there. It ain't the size of your army. It's the dedication, the loyalty, the desire of your army to defend its king, its president, its ruler, but also to defend his family. That determines the power of an army. It says, no warrior escapes by his great strength. David took down Goliath with a stone aimed just right. He had faith that his stones could take out anything he hit. He had faith. He took out the greatest warrior of his time with a little stone. A warrior that all over that continent was just destroying people. The armies wasn't even fighting each other. They were just sending people to fight this one man. And this one man was crushing everybody. That warrior was defeated by a man that had faith. A little boy, a teenager, took down this giant with a stone. A stone in a slingshot. Well, all he ought to say is somebody hit me with a rock, I'm going to do something to him. If that person is well trained and got faith in that rock, you won't touch him. If he got faith in his power, no matter what size he is, you won't get near him. That's just fact. Desire, heart, and faith can knock down almost anything. Especially if that anything doesn't have it. They say a horse is a vain hope for deliverance. Now the horse back in them days was the horses ran the chariots. And you would have somebody guiding a horse. And you would have people in the chariot shooting arrows. And when you were fighting in the field, that was a deadly thing. Because if you didn't get shot with the arrow, you would get trampled by the horse and the carriage. But somebody was with faith, somebody with hope, would figure out a way to clip them horses and take out their knees out from under them. Take the legs away. You hit him in the legs, a horse is nothing. Without his legs, a horse is nothing. A horse can't even bite you right. Without their legs, a horse is useless. Anybody that's raising horses, anybody that uses horses like the race or the ride, They know once a horse fall and surgery can't help it, that horse, they shoot it. They literally kill it. If they really made a lot of money off of him, they might let the horse live, and they might put him in a barn, or let, little kids ride him, around a little pen for money, if they made a lot of money off of him. But normally, when a horse is powerful enough to trample you to death, but you take his legs out, a horse is nothing. So how can you put your faith in something that could be knocked down so easily? The heaviest animal on land is the elephant. You realize that if you capture an elephant, it's going to try to get away. You put a chain around his neck and you chain it to something. It's going to try for a week or two to get away. The biggest mammal, the heaviest mammal on this earth, after about a week of trying to break that chain and it can't break it, it won't try again. And you literally can tie it with a rope. And unless a mouse come by that is scared of, it will never attempt to run away. So even the biggest mammal, the most powerful animal on earth, can be beaten just by tying it up. So how can you put your faith in the things on this earth? How can you put your faith on anything that walks this earth? I ain't got to the things in the water. Because the same way we ain't no good in water, the majority of the sea animals that live in water ain't no good on land. We can only last so long. While we got the scuba gear and we got the oxygen, we can rock and roll underwater. That oxygen run out, we can't do nothing. The biggest thing in the ocean is the whale. What happened to the whale when they get too close to the shore and the waves throw it on the beach? If the tide don't come back in and pull it back out, it's going to sit there and die. It can only live so long without being in the water. What good is a shark when you take it out of the water? How long can it go before it sit there and just die in the sun? How long can it go? Think about how powerful a shark is in the water. You live in Florida or Louisiana, they got them crocodiles, got them alligators. They kill like 100 humans every year. Because people just can't stay out the water. They just can't stay out the woods, Y'all get on me when I say that. But so many people die for no reason at all. But how long can that alligator stay out the water? How long can that crocodile stay out the water? Why they always near the water? Because they got to have it. So even though it can crawl out the water and come get you, it can only last for so long. So that means nothing on earth is 100% dependable. You can't count on anything 100% that's down here on this earth. And you ain't supposed to. You're supposed to count on your Lord and Savior. Because unless He calling for you to come home, if you with Him, that crocodile is not even going to flinch at you. If you with Him, that alligator ain't going to pay you a bit of mind. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Unless you being called. That's why there will always be survivors. No matter what kind of mass shooting, no matter what kind of tragedy, most of the time in accidents, unless you being called, you will get up and walk away. You might limp away. But if you are locked with God, chances are you will get up and walk away. People don't understand that. How can God let these tragedies happen? He doesn't stop these tragedies because He can't. And when I say He can't, He bound by His own word. He gave us free will. We got a choice. I keep telling y'all this, y'all like y'all don't hear me. You got a choice. Can't nobody make you do anything. Only you. And this is something that an animal cannot do. This is something that an angel could not do. This is something that only human beings can do. We got the choice. And since we had a choice of free will, if one of us decide we want to go shoot the place up, all God can do is look and see who's really with Him and try to protect them. But He can't totally intervene. He can't interfere because He gave us the free will. And if I got the free will and I want to go shoot up the police station, I got the free will to do it. And if you want to shoot me and stop me before I kill everybody, you got the free will to do it. Do y'all get it? You got the free will. You got the choice. We read the story about the guy that killed them 17 people. He in there trying to kill a God. He made the choice. The man asked him to stop dragging his sandals. Drag your sandals. Just walk in them and stop dragging them. What? He made the choice to go do that. Was that man right with God? I don't know. But I know he didn't get seriously injured. Don't know. Fact of the matter is, we got the free will to do whatever we want to do. And I keep telling y'all, the devil is jealous of that. His demons are jealous of that. To an extent, the angels up in heaven are jealous of that. Because they don't have a choice. Because they more like animals. They on instinct. They were made to do certain things. We the only human being that had a choice. A lot of people say, well, the devil had the choice. The devil broke rank. He broke the rank of the angels. But he was meant to. Because if he didn't, he would have been repented. And when I say that, y'all smile. But think about it. We go to Revelations. You see what happened to the devil. Even the atheists know. They don't even go to church, don't pick up a Bible, know what's going to happen to the devil at the end. How come he don't know it? How come the devil don't know it? Why don't he stop and repent? Why don't he go to heaven and say, God, I'm sorry. Please take me back. Because he meant to do this. He's meant to do it. He ain't got no choice. We got choice. Follow him or follow God and Jesus. We got a choice. And we the only beings that got that choice. The devil can't even save himself. But he'll take you with him. He's jealous of you. You got the opportunity to make a decision. I can do right or I can do wrong. You got the decision. I can take care of my family or I can go kill a family. I can go work or I can go rob a bank. I can go to college or I can go stand on a corner and sell drugs. You got the choice. And whatever choice you make sure you don't put your faith in a human being. Because if you are going to go join the gang, don't put your faith in the gang leader. We watched a video the other day. How the gang leader told them to beat that man up. They beat that man to an inch of his daggone life. And then they thought they were done. They told them to beat up another man. I was like, man, he cleaning house. But they all put their faith in that man. That man's their leader. Look how he doing. Some of them guys that was kicking on him, that was beating him, that was slamming him, were probably his best friends. And because they put all their trust and loyalty in the one man, that man told them, you got to beat your buddy up. He looked at me wrong. He didn't bring enough money in. I think he was short. I think he was talking to a female of an opposing gang. Y'all need to beat him up. I thought you joined the gang for protection and safety. Yet the same gang members are beating you up. Can you put all your trust in the human? What about the man that was getting beat up? Man probably been to jail. Man probably killed for that leader. And look what happened to him. You can't put your faith in man. Man will always let you down. For those of you who say you love Jesus, for those of you who say out your mouth when somebody asks you that you love God, have you talked to him lately? Have you went in the corner, sat down and prayed? Just find a little quiet spot. 5 minutes of your time. Told y'all how to start it. In Jesus' name, the sweet name of Jesus. As long as you started with Jesus, Jesus will come. And you'll be talking And when you're talking to God, you'll be talking through Jesus. He's the middleman. No matter what kind of sin you in, no matter what you just did, Jesus' blood will cover you. And God will listen. Now you can't keep doing dumb stuff and thinking you're going to keep coming back. Because after a while, they're going to start to get a little deaf on you. Like, all right, now, that's the 10th time you ain't done this, man. You say it. But if you are really trying, stay patient. But you got to remember what Jesus said. You got to love him and God more than you love your husband or wife, than you love your kids, than you love your president, than you love your boss, than you love your house, than you love your car, and most of all, than you love money. If you put any of those things before Jesus and God, you will never see the pearly gates. Facts. If you are doing well and you don't help those out around you, you don't need help, you ain't going nowhere. Facts. And you can let a preacher come and tell you, he just talking trash. Fact, I'm telling you the truth. Point blank truth. Because it still come back to the same thing. You got the free will. Things are happening to you. Everything's going wrong. People are against you. Say to yourself, you're trying to persecute me to get me to fall away from holding the hand of God. You're not going to do it. I don't care what you take from me. Take my car. Take my house. Take my fancy clothes. Take my spouse. Take my children. Jesus and God come first. I'm not worried about having no fancy clothes. I'm not worried about having no fancy car. It's nice to have if you can get it legally and keep it up. But I'm not going to go and sell myself, sell my soul, sell myself for something I can't take with me. Think about what I just said. For something you can't take with you. You gonna sell your soul. I ain't never heard about nobody having no Cadillac Escalade, no BMW, no Maserati, no Jaguar up in the heaven. I ain't never heard nobody having no mansion up in the house. Jesus said he gonna prepare a room for you. So you get in the room. So why you worrying about a house? If you get a room, why you worried about a house? Just asking. Because you're going to die. And when you die, it ain't coming with you. The jewelry ain't coming with you. All those shoes in them closets ain't coming with you. All those dresses, all those fancy suits, all those jerseys, they ain't coming with you. You can't take none of it. How can you sweat something you can't keep? I remember my sister and my grandmother, they was fighting over my mother's clothes when she died. They was fighting over her glasses because she had Hugo Boss glasses or something. One of them, they were like $500 glasses they were fighting over. Sisters don't even wear glasses. Y'all understand what I'm saying? The stuff that you out here selling your soul for, your relatives will be fighting over it when you're gone. Think about that for a second. The stuff you out here scrimping and scraping for to get, when you die, your relatives are going to be fighting over it. That's your worth. Because if you ain't got a relationship with God and Jesus and ain't putting them first, that's your worth. Because you ain't going to the next level. You gonna wind up with nothing. All that work, accumulating all that stuff, and in the end, what do you get? Nothing. A bum will be going through the gate. And you standing there, am I going in? They're gonna laugh at you like, really? How come the bum get in? He ain't got nothing, but he had the sense to pray. He had the sense to make sure he had a relationship. They know who he is. They don't know you. Who are you? Well, I go to church every Sunday. And? What that mean? Precisely. What that mean? Open that book up, and you're going to see this. I don't see nothing. Yes, it is. I gave $1 to the homeless man back in 1982. And you bragged about it for 5 years. It's not here. What do you mean it's not here? I gave money to the Girl Scouts. She came by and asked for donations, and you showed off in front of your coworkers, and you gave her $30. And then you bragged about it for the next year until they came around again. And that time you didn't give them nothing. So, nah, you bragged about it. You should have just done it and kept quiet. It had been here. But you had to run your mouth. So you didn't do it. At least they would have thought you did it in the name of God. But nope, you did it in the name of yourself. To show off to your coworkers. Don't count. Everything you've done, you went and bragged about it. It don't count. You supposed to just do it. We see it. We mark it down. When you gotta go out there and make sure everybody know about it, you did it for them. You didn't do it for us. Same thing we're gonna say to the preacher man when he come. He out there, and you gotta do this. Well, he doing that for y'all entertainment. He ain't doing it for us. He ain't trying to put our message out there. That's not our message. Everybody that he talking to ain't coming up here. Sit in church all day if you want to. Where did Jesus hold church at? Out on wrong. He wasn't in no pretty building. You ain't supposed to have no idols. Every time you go in church, ain't nothing but murals and idols. You ever been to the Jehovah's Witness place? You don't see nothing on the walls. Jehovah's Witnesses have a daggone church. Won't nothing be a shack. A shack in it with places for you to sit. That's what church supposed to be. So when you walk into all those pretty cathedrals, you already know you walking in the devil house. You already know it. He said, no idols. I'm wearing the idol right now. I got an earring in my ear. It's of Jesus and the 12 disciples at the Last Supper. I had to sell my jewelry. This was the one thing I held on to. And I shouldn't have. But it's the one thing. And at least it's not an idol. Like a cross. Cross is an idol. It's them at the Last Supper. I think it's a good representation. And lets everybody know I'm a Christian. But because I ain't acting like a fool, that should be enough. Let me check the chat. I haven't said nothing in chat, seen nothing in chat in a while. Talk of the week says persistence and patience, BD. If we do lose the Wi-Fi, it won't be forever. He said you don't know why that is. You wouldn't be in Wi-Fi without nobody care stepping up. The wildfires are bad right now. It won't be the best Christmas for those poor folk. Good for you, BD. I'm listening. It's just like us. It's just us, BD, like the old days. Well, talk of the week, when you doing something from the heart, it don't matter. You know people gonna watch. They're gonna wake up tomorrow and you know they're gonna watch. But you're right. Sometimes it's like the old days. But the thing is, do the people really take you seriously and do they really listen to you? That's what I wonder. Because nobody has answered my challenge. I made this challenge last month and I ain't got not one response to it. I challenge anybody out there. You find me anybody that was a disciple of God, anybody that was a prophet, anybody that walked around with jewelry, that had fine clothes, that was rich, that had servants. You find me one person in that Bible. I bet you can't. You can't find not one person in that Bible. And I had the scripture Sunday and I got rid of it. I know it was in Corinthians. Let me see if I can find it here. Oh, hope I'm spelling this right. No. I don't think I'm spelling that right. Somebody asked a question. He said, 2 months ago, a woman named Donna sent me the following fascinating question, which I have been looking forward to having a try at answering. So first of all, Donna, please pardon my delay in getting to your question. Here's your question. Understanding the good Lord uses donkeys and fools to confound the intellectual and heretics. Why is that? He only seems to come to people like Saint Faustina and Senior Josefa Mendez, who are humble, religious, and uneducated types. Why would he not think it might make an even bigger, better impression on the world as a whole to use someone who is of high social stature and intellect, and who is not a religious or even a non-believer? Don't you think that will rock the world if the president of Israel came out and said, Jesus is the Son of God, he visits me regularly and has told me things to repeat to the world? Okay, I know that the president of Israel is wildly far-fetched. However, even someone who is a world-renowned scientist non-believer or a major athlete non-believer, or let's say Bill Gates, even though he is a philanthropist, doesn't mean he is religious. Or even Jerry Springer, the wild talk show host. I'm sure you get my meaning. I wonder what kind of impact that would have. Don't you think it would have a much bigger impact than those who are already full believers and have given their lives to his church telling the world, far be it from me to tell the good Lord how to go about his perfect business, and Saint Fatima is my patron saint. I love that he uses the humble and meek to confound the intellectuals, but I just think it would be absolutely amazing, it would absolutely amaze the planet if he used someone that does not know him personally and is world renowned for doing something big career-wise, etc. Don't you? Here's his answer. I hope he matches what I said. Well, Donna, I can certainly see your point. Sometimes down through history, God has indeed chosen someone of high station to receive his special revelations. Think of St. Paul, for example, who received an appearance and message from the risen Christ on the Damascus Road. He was certainly a prominent Pharisee of his day and the most famous persecutor of the early church. Or how about the Roman Emperor Constantine, who saw a symbol of Christ in the clouds and heard the message in this sign, conquer. He was the emperor who finally lifted the terrible persecution of Christians throughout the Roman Empire once and for all. Of course, Constantine remains something of an unregenerate rogue, and to some extent his rudimentary embrace of the faith was a mixed blessing from the church. But that's another story. I can think of a big problem that God must face whenever he considers using well-known and influential person, especially an influential non-believer, as the vehicle of his special revelation to the world. Most of them, I would guess, prefer not to be used. A heart that is normally closed to any kind of personal relationship with Jesus Christ is not likely to suddenly be moved or persuaded just because he or she seems to experience some kind of dream, vision, apparition, or locution from the Lord or from his blessed mother. Think of what Ebenezer Scrooge said when he first saw the ghost of Jacob Marley in Dickens' A Christmas Carol. You might just be a bit of undigested beef. There's more gravy than the grave about you. In other words, Scrooge wrote off the apparition as just a side effect of indigestion. I can imagine that our Lord has made special attempts to reach out and call his service many wealthy and influential people, and most of them just dismiss the whole thing as a hallucination or take the whole sad story to their therapist to be explained away as a result of the psychological trauma they suffered in their childhood. Another problem with choosing influential non-believers to be message bearer of the Lord is that even if such people accepted the supernatural reality of his message they were receiving, the messages all too likely would be seriously distorted in the process of reception and transmission. Remember that the Lord seeks to work in the world through human cooperation. He doesn't want to force his help upon the world. He respects our freedom. But that faulty free will of ours. What was that? But that faulty free will of ours, especially the free will of the unregenerate unbeliever, can be the source of all kinds of error in communicating God's truth. What was that, y'all? What was that? He respects our freedom, but that faulty free will of ours. I love when somebody back up what I say. In his book, A Still Small Voice, A Practical Guide to Reports of Private Revelations, Benedict Groeschel lists many potential sources of error in private revelations, including a faulty interpretation of the revelation received, subjective psychological needs, errors of remembering and recording, and errors of reporting. That is one reason why even special revelations and messages received by the saints are not accepted by the church as the equivalent of infallible doctrine definitions or errant holy scripture. They may be a small admixture of error or distortion even in what God communicates to us through the saints. How much more so through the worldly and influential, especially unbelievers that are weak or altogether lacking in sanctifying grace. In short, if God wants to shine a light into our darkened world, it stands to reason that in most cases he will need to use the clearest window for that light to shine through, those who are humble and totally dedicated to him already, such as Saint Faustina and Senior Hostafar, are usually the best windows he could find. Finally, as you intimated in your question, Donna, there's another reason our Lord chooses the weak and those who are of no account, to confound those of high station, whether they are arrogant intellectuals or the prideful, wealthy, and powerful of this world. As St. Paul says in 2 Corinthians 4:7, I said Corinthians, we have this treasure in earthen vessels to show that the transcendent power belongs to God and not to us. If God sent his revelations and messages to the world through the highly skilled, highly educated, wealthy, and well-placed of this world, many people might think, indeed, even the recipient of the message themselves might think, that there was something about them that made them worthy of being the messengers of the Lord. It could lead to their spiritual demise and therefore also to public scandal. It was hard enough for recipients of special revelations to remain on the road to sanctify afterward. Recall how Saint Faustina became thereby the special object of Satan attack and of misunderstanding and persecution by her fellow sisters in religion. Add that to the temptation to pride, and you have the recipe for spiritual disaster. That's why our Lord often chooses those who are humble, who know their weaknesses and limitations, and who know well that anything good in them comes from the grace of God. Our Lady, who received the most important special revelation of all through the angel of Gabriel, is the best example of us all. My soul magnifies the Lord, and my spirit rejoices in God my Savior, for he has regarded the low estate of his handmaiden, who is mighty has done great things for me, and holy is his name. Luke 1:46-49. Donna, since you mentioned Senior Josefa Menendez in the special revelations she received about the heart of Jesus, and since the record of those revelations was given a nihil obstat by the church, and since the book that contains them is one of my favorites in the whole story of Catholic spirituality, I will close this column with a revelation she received from Jesus about this very topic, and then with a prayer recorded by Saint Faustina too. Okay. Leave yourself in my hands, Hostafar. I will use you as seems best to me. What of your littleness or weakness, no matter. All I ask of you is to love and console me. I want to know how dearly my heart loves you and how great the riches it contains, and you must be like soft wax. You must be like soft wax, that I may mold you to my liking. You must not be troubled. I want you to be nothing, that I may be all. The smaller a thing is, the more easily it can be handled. It is just because you are so paltry a thing that I could use you as I like. You know well that I need nothing. All I ask is you to be plastic in my hands. But look, and you will see what I can fashion out of your nothingness. And here's the prayer. Jesus, eternal light, enlighten my mind, strengthen my will, inflame my heart, and be with me as you have promised. For without you I am nothing. You know, Jesus, how weak I am. I do not need to tell you this, for you yourself know perfectly well how wretched I am. It is in you that all my strength lies. So, the reason God doesn't use the famous, the reasons God doesn't use the rich, is because, number one, if he tried to contact them, like I said, chances are they probably will go to a psychiatrist. They got the money and say, look, I keep having this dream, something keep telling me something I don't want to hear. How can I make it go away? 2, those people are vain. And they already high on themselves. And because of their popularity or their wealth or their celebrityism, they will take that revelation and try and make it seem like it's all about them and not about God. And that's the reason why the majority of the disciples, the majority of the people that work for God, Samuel, these men didn't have no education. The majority of the authors of the Bible didn't have no education. That's not who they're looking for. They're looking for somebody who they could take and mold. Somebody who's not prideful and will listen. Somebody that will humble themselves and even get ridiculed, get heckled, get beat on. Somebody that's willing to take the punishment. And most of the time, a celebrity, somebody with money, is not willing to do that. That's why I say, that's why the majority of them will never see the pearly gates. He has no use for them. And if you are that person that I'm describing, please change for your own spiritual well-being. I keep telling y'all about the story where the young man was so astonished and so amazed by Jesus that he said, I want to come follow you. Jesus said, go sell whatever you got. Go sell whatever you got and give it to the poor. Pick up my cross and follow me. Young man sat there, but Jesus walked off. Another man said, how can I get into the kingdom of heaven? Another rich man told him the same thing. Another man said, I want to follow you. He said, well, come on. Drop what you got right now. Just drop it. Let's go. Come follow me. Well, let me go say goodbye to my father. No. All right, go ahead. He said, you both drop everything. If your father is worthy you will see your father again because he'll be following me too. And at some point, you will see him. Why you got to go say goodbye? You should be looking forward to saying hello, unless you know there's no way you're going to see him again. And let me let that marinate. If he's a good man, he's gonna come follow me too. Why you gotta say go say goodbye to him? You should be looking forward to saying hello as he follows us. You should be looking forward to saying hello again. Hey, Pops, about time you got here, man. When am I gonna see you on the circuit? Instead, you know. Wait a minute. Talk of the week said something. Hey, talk of the week. Yeah, it was a long reply. My mouth still hurting after reading all that. But I'm glad I did, and I'm glad I was given the power to read all that. See, a lot of people are not going to listen to me because they think that I'm uneducated. You know, I only got my GED and I only got 2 months of Bible college. They think I'm uneducated. They think I don't have a look. I stutter. But I'm the perfect candidate. I'm what they would like to use to get the message out. And what people don't fail to realize is Jesus and God not going to beat you over the head. They're not going to beg for you to come. They want you to come of your own will. They send people out like feelers to try to enlighten you and to get you to come on board. But if you're not listening to the message, you're more worried about who the messenger is, how much money the messenger has. The messenger don't talk right. The messenger don't have that. And I said, you gotta say it again. He went up to the mountain, and I tell you, if he don't have that certain thing, you won't listen. And they fine with that. They fine with that. And that's what the ministers won't tell you. If you won't take the message, they don't want you. They would like for you to come, but they're not going to make you come. And this is what people don't get. They think that the God just sit around, I wish that more people would come on. Now, this was a different time. But I imagine it's 1 billion people on the planet. The numbers they gave was 12,000 from every tribe. That's 144,000. It's 1 billion people on the planet. Even if you said, well, maybe it wasn't that many people back then let's change it. Let's say 1 million going, right? Let's just it's been 2,000 years, right? Let's just up it. Let's say 2,000. Let's say 1 million going. Instead of 144,000, let's say 1 million going. Don't it take 10 millions to make a trillion? No, it take 10 millions to make a billion, right? So that means 9 million people are going to hell. So 9 people going to hell. 9 million people are going to hell. I'm incorrect. Y'all need to correct me. That's 900 million. So 900 million people. No, I'm saying it wrong. It takes a billion is 10 million, right? So yeah. No matter how you slice it, I stick with the 9. Let's just say 9 million people think they're going to heaven and they're going to hell. How do you fix that? You got 9 million people going to hell out of the billion people on the planet. And I'm not sure if I'm correct in my math. I might need to do some calculations. But I stick with the 9 million. I think 10 millions make you... No. You need 100 million to be a billion, right? I keep forgetting. Because I ain't going to never see that money. It's not something that's going to stick in my head. It don't matter how you slice it. A whole lot of people ain't going. You can let the preacher tell you you're going all he want. A whole lot of y'all ain't going. There ain't no way to spruce it up for you. Ain't no way to pat you on the back. I'm surely not going to sit here and lie to you to get you to put some money in the collection plate. Like God, I want you to do it because you appreciate the platform. You appreciate what I do. And I love how one YouTuber said, and she ain't the only one, a lot of them said it, and it's not a diss. But they said, what they do on the internet ain't worth a donation. I agree. Hooting and hollering and making a fool of yourself is not worth a donation. Theoretically. But in this sector, it is. Make that make sense. Person do the biggest hooting and hollering. Says what she do ain't worth a donation. And a lot of people say, I'm not going to listen to you because you don't have it all. I got Jesus and God in my life. Do you? Are you sure you right? As dumb as you think I am, I'm smart enough to have that right. And I come on here and try to give you the word. And you don't want to accept it. And now that we've covered, and for all y'all that's going to watch, for all y'all that's going to know, all those preachers that y'all go, got them in that big old church y'all paid for, got that big old choir, got that big stage, they got the women in leotards dancing around, talking about they doing a praise dance. That's not a praise dance. Look in the story of David. See him leading a caravan of people going through the desert, dancing and acting like a fool for that Lord. Not up there doing trained dances in unison. To those people you see shouting, they all do that same step. That's not shouting. I've shouted before, I can guarantee you. I wasn't doing no damn steps. A man who's been going to church all his life actually got up and went and sat. Man who I worked with, he got up and went and sat on the other side. He thought I was going to hit him. I don't know what them dances, when we showed them people shouting, that's not shouting. That's dancing. They all got the same dance step. That's fake religion. Staged. So they're going to be doing that same hot stepping down there in them coals in hell. They can do that same hot step. Out of all the disciples, only one disciple had education. Anybody want to guess? Somebody in the chat tell me right now. Who, there's 4 of y'all in here, who was the one disciple that had the education? It's an easy guess. Out of the 12 disciples, who was the only one that had the education? Who was the one that had the education? Who was the one that was the tax collector? Who was the one that collected the money for the government? With cheating the people? Who? Who was the one? That's y'all assignment. Tomorrow, somebody come in the chat and tell me. Believe it or not, it's not Judas. Judas was a mercenary. Judas was trying to cause riots. He wanted Jesus. He thought that Jesus was coming. And I don't understand why the Bible had the people. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know why the Bible had all the people thinking that the Messiah was coming to rescue them from the Romans. That's not why he came. And Judas became mad. Judas was mad. He was mad at Jesus. Jesus come talking about peace and doing stuff. And they like, man, we ready to fight. He had already started rebellions. He was beat down. Judas Iscariot was a renegade. He was a what would you call him nowadays? You remember back in the 70s? We used to have them young men used to say black power and go around and do crazy stuff. That's what a Judas Iscariot was. Judas Iscariot was like a Black Panther of the 70s. He was a rouser, a rebel rouser. He thought that Jesus was going to lead them into taking back Israel and Judah from the Romans. Seriously. And to think, King Herod killed the firstborn of all those Israelites for nothing. He thought that that baby was going to grow up and take the kingdom from his children. That's why he ordered them to kill the firstborn. All those babies died because the prophets had everybody believing that Jesus was coming to lead the way. He was going to come, and with his power, they were going to just take back everything. But they didn't realize God changed the plan. He realized no matter what he did, we're going to take advantage of our free will and do what we want to do. No matter what, he can give us everything. We still going to do what we want to do. So the game changed. The game has changed now. He ain't chasing us down. He ain't coming behind us. Because if you go look back in Exodus and go through Kings 1 and 2, you see God sending Jesus to come behind us. Why is everything stopped? Why are we being attacked? Somebody has sinned. Somebody has sinned among you. Like what? You got the daggone Hittites and the Jebusites coming down here, and it's because of one person. Who sinned? God darn it. Who sinned? Man, they got tired of that. I get tired of it too. You know how many people there is in the world? Go behind everybody. I like, forget that. I'm going to send you somebody that's going to be the gateway. The gateway to come to me. And if you accept it, I will have a relationship and an agreement with you. And if you don't accept it, do you? Pretty much. Do you? God ain't going around worrying about what you doing. I'm sure he's saddened by the state. I'm sure he wished I wish I had the charisma to get out and do more. I don't. I wish I had the resources to get out and do more, but I don't. But instead of crying about what I don't have, I do what I can. And maybe it don't seem much to a non-believer, but to a believer, I think I hold my own. Could I do better? Could always do better. I'm never satisfied. I can always do better. Fact of the matter is, I'm here every day trying to get the message out. Trying to get people straightened up, do right. And I love the smart person that said, why should somebody who claims that they walk with God, why would they need any kind of help? Why would they need any kind of support? I say to that person, go back to the Gospels. and actually read. And see, when Jesus paired up the 12 disciples, he paired them up in twos. And he said, I want you to go into these nearby cities, and I want you to preach the word of God. They said, because remember, there were no Bibles back then. There were no Bibles back then. Everything was on a scroll. I think the Bible on a scroll will probably be the length of a football field. And somebody got to handwrite each word. You know how long that takes? It's got to take 3 to 6 months to write a Bible that way. How much do you think it costs? So not many people had Bibles. So they were like, what? What we gonna preach? Well, no. He was like, don't worry, I tell you what to say. Don't worry about that. The words are gonna come out you. Your Holy Spirit got you. Go ahead. I got you. You ain't gave us no money. You want us to go stay with these people as long as they want to stay with them. We ain't got no money for no hotel. What's going on? You don't need money. Huh? We don't need money. No, you don't. What you mean we don't need no money? No. The people that hear your message are going to take care of you. And they're going to put you up because they're going to want to hear more of that message. Huh? Anybody that's preaching in my name, you don't need money. Wherever you go, when they hear the message, they're going to take care of you. You ain't going to need for nothing. If you go to a town that don't want to hear the message, then you walk to the edge of that town, you make sure you shake the dust off of your sandals before you step over that line. Shake the dust off of your sandals. Don't bring that negativity into the next town with you. And go to the next town and see if they'll be receiving of you. People who touch by the word are going to take care of the messenger. And they're going to want to hear more of it. People that's not touched by the word are going to want to persecute you. They're going to want to beat you up. They're going to want to put you down. They're going to want to insult you. They're going to want to kill you. Because they don't want to hear that message. That message makes them feel bad. They can't handle it. So, to the person who keeps asking that, I think I answered your question. And if you got a rebuttal, chat's always open. There's plenty of room in the chat here. The other chats roll by. Plenty of room. Anybody got a problem with anything I said, come see me. And don't you find it amazing how whenever I go look at random, no matter what I go, no matter what I hit, it always back up what I say. What more proof do you need? Somebody got to walk on the water. Somebody got to walk barefoot through the fire. Keep on waiting for them signs. I'm here to tell you the truth. I'm not going to try to make you feel good. You'll feel good once you get to the next level. I look at the earth as a holding pen. Just like the migrants that want to make it to the United States. They think the United States is the Holy Land. They think this place is heaven. A lot of them are going to be sitting in holding pens. While they in them holding pens, if they in there acting a daggone fool, they not going to get let in. They got to do everything they supposed to do. They got to make the United States say, come on, I'll let you in. They go there and act a fool, they going to get turned back. The earth right now is your holding pen. You got to prove you worthy to enter into the Holy Land. You got to prove it. You ain't got to prove it to me. You ain't got to prove it to Trump. You got to prove it to Jesus and God. And that's facts. Why should they allow you? You down here doing negative things. Why should they allow you up there? Why they want you to bring that negativity? Why would they want you to come up there and poison everybody? I'm just asking. These are honest questions. If you think about them, they make sense. How you gonna be a ruthless businessman, cutthroat, cheating people, and then think you gonna go up there in heaven and swindle and cheat people? Really? Seriously? You think you're gonna be a con artist down here? You're gonna be a molester down here? You're gonna be a rapist down here? You're gonna be a murderer down here? You're gonna sell death to your fellow man by selling drugs, and you really think you're going to heaven? Okay. We'll see. Guarantee you. I already told y'all, my biggest fear is that I'm going to be the only one. The people that do make it, I ain't going to know none of them. That's my biggest fear. I ain't going to know nobody. How you doing? We like, damn, where y'all at? Hey, where you at, Tommy? Where you at, Vic? Where everybody at? That's my biggest fear. I ain't gonna know nobody. I'm gonna be a stranger. But we all gonna have one thing in common. What's the one thing we gonna have in common? Before I do anything, and I'll be honest, except when I lose my temper. Doesn't happen often. But I try to think, what would Jesus want me to do? What would God want me to do before I do it? And even if I don't want to do what they want me to do, I got the sense to acknowledge it beforehand and after. To ask for forgiveness beforehand and after. Don't make it right, but at least I acknowledge and show them their respect. So maybe I can be forgiven. That's why I told you sometimes I'll dip my toe in the water, but I won't jump in. I know to come back to safety. Y'all get what I'm saying? Some of y'all are just jump in the pond and evil and stay there and live there. You can't do that. You're not going to make it. Talk of the week. That's your assignment. Find out which disciple was actually educated. You can hit me up on the Hangouts later, or you can come on tonight and tell me. It's 5 people listening. Somebody tell me who was the disciple that was educated. I'll give you a hint. I already told you. He was the tax collector. You're going to have to go read, because I guarantee you, if you try and Google it, you ain't going to see it. Hold on, let's see though. I challenge Google. I'll challenge Google. Yeah, I did spell it wrong. Ha. All right. While fishing, wait a minute. Andrew, most of the fishermen's day was mending or washing his nets. Andrew was doing just that when Jesus called him a disciple. His brother Peter watched Jesus climb into the boat, then preach to the people. He realized that Jesus was not only a prophet, but someone who he would surrender his life. James and his brother John were mending nets with their father when Jesus called them. These 2 sons of Zebedee were not just fishermen. As business owners, they hired other men to work for them. But they weren't educated, they were just fishermen. While fishing was a respectable vocation, not all the occupations of the 12 disciples viewed favorably. When Jesus first called Matthew, the disciple was sitting at the tax collector's booth. What was his name? Matthew belonged to the class of Jewish tax collectors, the Moksai, who extorted money from travelers. Publicans or tax collectors were despised, regarded as traitors to their own people. Their money was considered unclean, and those taxed would avoid asking for change. A publican's money could not be tied to the temple. Publicans were forbidden to testify in court. A good Jew would not even associate with publicans in private life. Jesus upset the Pharisees when he enjoyed a meal at Matthew's house. So even the man that was educated was hated by the Jews. But they were hated by the clergy. The clergy made it. Think about it. Jesus upset the clergy when he enjoyed a meal at Matthew's house. So a publican or tax collector was despised. They said a good Jew could not even associate with publicans in private life. Yet Jesus called one to be one of his disciples. That was way too easy to find. I'm surprised somebody didn't look it up and pop right up. So it took me a couple seconds. So, Matthew, the tax collector. And I told y'all that Jesus did not like the church. He specifically picked somebody who he knew the church leaders would resent for him doing that. He purposely chose one. They say a Jew wouldn't even associate with a publican. Wouldn't even associate with him. And what Jesus do? Come follow me. So that tell you that the church wasn't jack. The church wasn't jack. I say it again. The church wasn't jack. If you're not even supposed to associate with a publican, Pharisees hated them to the core. The preachers, the reverends of the time, hated them to the core. Jesus told that man, come be my disciple. What did that tell you? What does that tell y'all? What does it tell you? Remember, it was the Pharisees that insisted, that pretty much blackmailed the Romans into crucifying Jesus. The Romans did the work, but their hands were tied. Why? Because the well-educated clergy put them in the corner and used their own law against them. Pontius Pilate wanted to let Jesus go. I wonder if Pontius Pilate went to hell. That could be a question. Maybe that could be a show. Did Pontius Pilate go to hell? Somebody answer the question. Did Pontius Pilate go to hell? He was used by the Pharisees, but he was also used by God. So because he was used, did he get a chance to go to heaven? Because even though it starts recording him, we might have to go look, see if there's anything on Pontius Pilate after Jesus. Because did he repent and become a Christian? Oh, we just lost somebody. Not surprised. But did he repent and become a Christian? He was really impressed with Jesus. But the Pharisees wouldn't let up. He gave them every excuse to let Jesus go. They wouldn't let up. And God needed for him to do this job. So, do y'all think that Pontius Pilate got to go, or y'all think he went to hell? Anybody have a question? I mean, anybody answer that question? Anybody got a perspective? He had to get a word for the execution to happen. But he didn't want to do it. The Pharisees put the pressure on him and made him do it. And you can say, nobody can make you do nothing, but you got to realize you running an empire. The Romans covered a lot of territory. They covered a lot of territory. And you can't show weakness, or the people that you're ruling will overtake you. And the Babylonians was over the Israelites for a while, and the Romans came in and cleaned house. And to this day, we still got a Roman Catholic Church. So, and it's so wicked. But I believe the Catholic Church, stop it, David. I believe that the church knows. I believe the church was set up to make sure that people don't go to heaven. I really do. I think that Islam is to make sure you don't go. I'm being honest. I think these religions say that they forgotten Jesus, but in reality, they religions of the devil. That's why it's gonna be a lot of surprise faces when they get up to their gate and they won't open. Where you going? Hey man, let me in. Man, where you going? You ain't going here. Who you? What do you mean? Who me? Y'all know me. Much time as I sat in that daggone church, as much time as I spent down on my knees praying, who was you praying to? I pray to Allah. Who that? Who that? The name is Jehovah. Were you praying to Jehovah? Jehovah. I'm praying to Allah. Who the heck is that? Who? I've been praying to God. Who's that? My name is Jehovah. I am what I am. I am what I need to be at any moment. That's my name. Who the heck is anybody can call themselves God? Hooligans call themselves God. It's gonna be a sad day. I just hope I'm not alone. But it'll be a sad day. I just hope I'm not alone. So, anybody have any comments? I got some World Star videos I want to look at, but I don't want to do that behind this sermon. Is there anybody still here? If I do a second show, anybody gonna come back? Hello? Hello? Nobody talking. All right, I'll see y'all in about 10 minutes. All I gotta do is just pick out another thumbnail and change the name. I'll be back, y'all. Have a good one. See y'all in 10 minutes.